Welcome to our deep dive on generative AI. To start, let's recall that for decades, computers were essentially super-fast calculators, executing instructions exactly as programmed. But now, something has shifted dramatically. Can you explain what makes today's AI fundamentally different from those earlier machines?
Absolutely. Traditional computers followed explicit step-by-step instructions, but generative AI, especially models like GPT, can actually learn from data and generate new content, text, images, even music without being hand-coded. It's like comparing a player piano, which only plays preset tunes, to a jazz musician improvising live.
That's a compelling analogy. And this leap isn't just academic, it's quickly becoming part of our daily lives. For listeners who've only encountered AI as chatbots, what's so revolutionary about interacting with something like GPT compared to, say, an old-school search engine?
Great question. Unlike search engines, which retrieve existing information, generative AI creates responses on the fly. Interacting with GPT is more like conversing with an expert who can adapt to your needs, whether you want a joke, a poem, or a medical explanation. The technology feels like a virtual Einstein in your basement, ready to help at any moment.
And as we'll discuss, tapping into this, Einstein isn't just about the AI's abilities, but also about how well we communicate with it, a skill set that's quickly becoming essential. Let's move on to how these systems actually work under the hood. So, let's unpack the mechanics. Terms like neural networks and parameters get thrown around a lot. For someone not steeped in computer science, how does a large language model like GPT actually learn to generate such convincing human language?
Think of a large language model as a vast web of virtual neurons, billions or even trillions of connections, similar to a simplified brain. It learns by reading enormous quantities of text, converting words into numbers, and adjusting its internal parameters each time it guesses the next word. This is a bit like how a baby learns language by listening and mimicking until it gets things right.
That's fascinating. So, it's essentially playing a massive game of guess the next word millions of times. But training doesn't stop there, does it? How do humans guide these models to behave appropriately in real-world scenarios?
Exactly. After initial data training, there's a second phase called reinforcement learning with human feedback. Here, real people review the model's outputs and provide corrections or approvals, much like training a dog with a clicker. This helps the AI avoid harmful or inappropriate behavior, like refusing to give instructions on illegal activities.
And after all this training, the model is mostly frozen, except for occasional fine-tuning. That's why prompt engineering becomes so crucial for users. Let's explore how we can get the most out of these systems. Now you've compared using generative AI poorly to hiring Einstein just to proofread a high school essay. Clearly, effective communication or prompt engineering is key. Can you break down what makes a good prompt and how it impacts results?
Certainly. A prompt is essentially your instruction to the AI. The clearer and more specific you are, the better the outcome. For example, instead of asking, "plan a workshop," you'd get more actionable results by specifying the topic, audience, and goals. This iterative process refining prompts based on feedback is how users unlock the AI's versatility.
And this skill isn't just technical, it's about clarity of thought and communication. Are there common mistakes or misconceptions you see when people use generative AI for the first time?
Absolutely. Many users underestimate what the AI can do, limiting themselves to simple tasks. Others provide too little context, resulting in generic or irrelevant output. Think of it like working with a world-class chef. If you only ask him to chop onions, you miss out on gourmet meals he could prepare if you gave clearer instructions.
So, prompt engineering is both an art and a science. And the better we get at it, the more powerful these AI tools become. Now, let's look at how this technology is reshaping industries and the workforce. With generative AI advancing rapidly, people are understandably anxious about its impact on jobs and society. Some fear obsolescence, while others see new opportunities. How should individuals and companies approach this transition?
A balanced mindset is essential. While certain roles may change or even disappear, most professions will benefit from AI augmentation. The key is to view AI not as a threat, but as a powerful colleague, one that's brilliant yet quirky. For instance, doctors can use AI for rare disease diagnosis, while teachers get personalized lesson planning support.
That's a nuanced perspective. However, AI is not infallible. It can hallucinate or make errors. What safeguards or human skills remain indispensable in this new landscape?
Human judgment is irreplaceable for tasks like assessing legal compliance, evaluating results, and setting goals. AI can accelerate work, but needs domain experts to frame questions, provide context, and validate outputs. Think of it as working alongside a genius intern. You must guide and double-check their work.
So, the future belongs to those who blend AI capabilities with human expertise. As we wrap up, let's briefly touch on the next frontier: autonomous agents and truly integrated AI systems. Looking forward, the evolution of generative AI seems poised to accelerate. What new developments should we expect, particularly with autonomous agents and continuous learning models?
We're entering an era where AI agents won't just wait for prompts. They'll proactively execute complex missions, access external tools, and adapt over time. Imagine assigning your Einstein a project and letting him coordinate tasks, access the web, or even manage finances, all autonomously. This raises both productivity and ethical challenges.
That level of autonomy is both exciting and daunting. What should users and organizations do to prepare for this next phase and ensure they harness AI responsibly?
First, prioritize education, learn prompt engineering, understand AI's strengths and limitations, and foster a culture of experimentation. Second, put robust safeguards in place to prevent misuse. Continuous learning will be vital, both for humans and for the AI systems themselves as we evolve together.
Excellent advice. To our listeners, approach generative AI as a transformative tool. With curiosity, responsible use, and clear communication, we can shape a future where humans and AI thrive side by side. Thanks for tuning in.